Okay, this video is for students of IMED 2415, that's Web Design 2 at El Centro College, particularly those taking it summer of 2017. I'm Francisco Rodriguez, I'm your instructor, and I'm creating this video to clarify a couple of things, specifically the rubrics. They are the charts at the very end of every assignment. In the main page here, I'm going to skip to the assignment page. Here's the week 1 assignment, and I'm scrolling to the bottom so I can find the rubric, assignment grading rubric. This is basically, all these points add up to 100, and these are your objectives. There's one, though, that some people are not getting, and that is the page validation that's included, and that the page validates is HTML5. This is going to be a part of every assignment, and it's an oversight on my part. I was just notified, well, not just now, but a few hours ago, that this is no longer a standard procedure for Web Design 1. Although you may be validating pages, you're not including the page validation within the page. I would like you to actually do this, though, and in order to ask that of you, I guess I'm going to show you what I mean. So let me start out by going back to the front page. In the announcements, I have put in some notes, including the reason why I'm doing this. Some links that will show you an explanation of what markup validation is and why validate and what does it do, and then the resources that I will be using for this example. There's not that many really, it's just a lot of useful tidbits here that you can take a look at, and you'll need a couple of things from them. There's also a video that it's a couple of minutes, and it asks the question, is HTML validation necessary for ranking? And that used to be that we were told that if you are validated in your HTML, that Google will look at it kindly and give it more preference. The truth is that's not necessarily what happens. However, they do make a short argument about why you should really be validating. The most important part is that it makes your code a little bit clearer, and people working in your team and yourself, when you go back and look at your old code, you'll be able to go through it a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, with less problems. It just looks better. So let me begin by creating a page. Currently, my personal page is my frodriguez.weardt.com is blank. Although you may have seen some videos for the course already, all that material has been erased. It's been backed up somewhere, but I'm not going to use it anytime soon. So then I'm going to create a new index.html. Notice how it's actually pointing to index.html. If this were just my domain, it would give me something different here, index of slash. It's just blank, and maybe that's what you have been seeing whenever you go to your domain and there's nothing there. I very specifically want to go to index.html because that will be important when I validate the page. I'm going to use this online tool called CodePen. This is basically a text editor that shows you what HTML is looking like as you type it. I'm going to create what they call a new pen, and it gives me 3 notepads, one for my HTML, one for my CSS, and one for JavaScript. This being a very basic page, I'm going to minimize the JavaScript editor and the CSS editor as well, and I'm going to make the display option at the bottom a little bit larger, and I'm going to be typing in some code. What this program does, or this site does, is if whatever you type in any code, if you have a paragraph, this is a paragraph, and close it. And if I had started out that with a heading, H1, hello world or something, this is my heading, then you'll see that my code, my HTML code is up here, and it's showing me what it's going to look like. I cannot save directly onto my FTP or to my computer from here, but I can save it in my free account, and that works just as well. I'm going to put in some real code though. I'm going to delete this. And rather than typing everything, I'm going to go and copy from W3 Schools the example from every chapter, which is just basically a template of a page. Starts out with the document type, HTML code, etc. Open, close. I'm going to select it and copy it and bring it back to my pen. I'll right click to paste, and there's my code. Now I'm going to make some quick changes. I'm going to change the default page title to something like my name. And heading, I'll just type my name again. Here's my middle initial. And rather than a paragraph, I'm going to do heading 2, just a smaller heading, saying web design 2 summer 2017. Then this is a paragraph. I'll just hello world again. I'm just typing this for the example. I should have just copied and pasted something else, but I'm already halfway done. One more paragraph under construction. Close the paragraph. And something else that I can do here for the body, inside the body, I'll open up a header. I'm not going to do or type a header. I just want to have the semantics there. I'm going to open up a main, and that'll be that there. Close the main. And then at the bottom, I finish with a footer. Inside the footer, I will put in something like just a paragraph that says copyright 2017, etc. And like I said, I can't save from here, but at least I can see what my page is looking like. I can, if you're in a Mac like me, you can press Command A. If you're in a PC, press Control A to select all and copy. I had right click, by the way, to get that copy. And now I'm going to open up my text editor, my Sublime, so that I can right click here and paste. Here's the code that I just copied from there. I'm going to save this onto my F. Rodriguez folder. I'm going to call this index.html and save it. Now that it's saved, I can open up my FileZilla. Let me see, reloaded. There's my index page. I'm already hooked up to my public HTML, and I'll drag it over to publish it. And I'll reload my page, and there it is. And here's the code that I typed up. I'll view the page source, and you can see there it's there in all its glory. But I want to confirm it. I want to validate it as per the assignment. So in HTML validation resources, you'll see several things. The validation icons, first of all, this is what we used to do in Web Design 1. Whenever you had a document type of HTML, whatever version you were using at the time, then you would have the W3C seal of approval icons. You'll notice though that they applied from HTML 2.0 to 4.01, XHTML, and CSS 1 and 2, but no CSS 3, no HTML5. So it's kind of out of vogue to do it. However, you can still get the page validated on HTML5. We just don't have an official way of doing it. So what we're going to do for this class, first of all, is check the page. New HTML5 checker will take you to the validator at W3. This is simple enough to check, validate by URI, and I can just type in my page since it's already been published, frodriguez.weirdit.com, which, by the way, is my domain, and that's fine. It'll check it. However, to be specific about this, I'm going to type in / and then index.html so that it only reads what I want it to, which is my home page. Then I'll click on check. And it'll tell me, hey, we checked your code, etc. And I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 errors on my pretty page. And maybe you saw what I did here. I opened up an H1 and then an H2, but I didn't close it somewhere along the way. These should be paragraphs and they don't look like paragraphs. So the checker is telling me, hey, first of all, the character encoding was not declared, and that's fine. I can live with that. Then heading cannot be child of another heading, I think is what's really giving us a problem here. In line 14, the H2 doesn't close. So I'll go back into my text editor, and actually I'll go back to the pen so I can fix it here. Here's the pen. And right there, that H2, I'm going to close it, H2. That would also explain why everything is sort of cattywampus. Over here, I will now select all my text, copy it again, bring it onto my Sublime, and replace this code, save it, Command S, go back to FileZilla and publish it again. I'll overwrite my page and I'll reload it, and there it is. Now I see my paragraphs. If I go back to check this page, it's already got the address. I'll tell it to check again, and it's telling me that the character encoding was not declared, proceeding with Windows 1252. And although this is an error, it's not a very important error. I would still like to fix it, however. The character encoding code and the pen here, I will add it up in the head right after the title. I have it copied. Actually, I copied the words character encoding, not what I meant to do. I don't have it off the top of my head. I know that it's UTF-8, but just to make sure, I'm going to go to W3 Schools, my go-to place every single time, and ask about character encoding. There it is, a character set, and basically it says, yeah, here's my meta character set UTF-8, etc. for HTML5. I'll copy that, and this is going to be put into our head code. So where I was right after the title, I'll paste that. Shouldn't see any change down here. It's all been specified on top. I'll select all this text again, copy it one more time, and go to the pen. No, I'm already at the pen. I'll go to the Sublime Text and paste it, save it, Command S, and publish it. And I hope that you're following me in these instructions. I'm expecting, once again, that you've already gone through Web 1 and you're familiar with the FTP process. And what I'm doing, just basically publishing my pages over and over again. Like I said, I shouldn't see any changes here. But if I go to my results and I tell it to check again, it now tells me that the document checking has completed, no errors or warnings to show. Now, as I told you before, since this has been deprecated, it used to be that you would get this code that you could add to your page and saying, great, you wrote a page in HTML4 or 4.01 or something else. pat yourself on the back and here's this. That doesn't exist anymore. So the way to do it, we've already have a good result here. So I know that this page is good. I'm going to get an HTML5 logo. I'm going to click on this in the resources. This is the HTML5 logo, which I'm sure you're familiar with. I'm sure you've seen it all over the place. There's a whole bunch of information here about the logo and what to do with it. I'm going to scroll down into this batch builder, and I want to show off at least the semantics, because I did put in some semantic code. I don't have any styling yet, so I'll turn that off, and then it gives me this code. I'm going to select it all, right click and copy, go back into my pen, and at the very bottom of the footer, after my copyright, I'm going to paste my code. And you'll see that this actually now gives me a badge. And it's just telling me that it's HTML5 powered with semantics. And right now, if I were to click here, you'll see at the bottom maybe that it's going to take us back to W3, the logo page. I don't necessarily want that. I wanted to open up the page that tells me the results, that this is a good page that has been coded in HTML5 that works. Now I could either copy this whole code at the top, the address, and paste it onto the other code. However, in the resources, I have the referrer link. If you hover on top of that, at the bottom left, you'll see that it goes back to validatorw3.org check refer, and that's basically where we want to go. So the best way to do this is to right click on refer link and copy the link address. I use Chrome, so I have this option. If you're using Firefox, I'm sure that there's something that allows you to copy the link. You won't hear me mention Internet Explorer much because I don't use it. One, I have a Mac here, and on my PCs, I just don't use it. It's on its way out. I'd actually rather use Edge. I'm going to, now that I've copied that, go back to my pen, and instead of it going to the logo page, I'm going to get rid of this address, the logo. So I only have the quotes, and then paste what I just copied, which is a link to validatorw3.org check refer. So once you have this code, the link to this referrer page, add the link to the badge, you can use this in any of your pages, and it will allow you to check for HTML5. And yes, I could have just given you this text to copy and paste on all your pages, but now you know the rest of the story, as they say. So now I'm going to select all this copy again, all this text, and copy, go back to my Sublime, select all and paste, make sure to save this again, and publish it from FileZilla. Double click, overwrite, and then I'll go back to my page and reload. I have my basic page with all the code, and if I click on this logo, it'll take me to the validator, and it'll tell me that the document has completed its checking, tells me what it is. Actually, I could tell it, hey, show me the source, and then I can grade your assignments in a jiffy. So thank you for watching. Thank you for spending the last 20 minutes with me. Hopefully, if you haven't been fast forwarding, I wouldn't blame you if you do. So I hope that you do go back to previous assignments and add the code if you didn't have it already, and that you have it in every assignment throughout the rest of the semester. Thank you very much again.